Detective Carter. Junior. He was murdered. No, please help me.
I got you. Know the truth. I know who you are, and I'm gonna put you where you belong.
Somebody to worry about?
From what I looked up, I think you might. He's a cop on a fucking mission, Tariq. Was a rising star on the path to some city hall kind of stuff when his wife was killed. Gunned down outside the ER where she worked as some dealers were finishing off the dude on the gurney.
Is he dangerous?
He ain't like the cops you've been dealing with, so watch your back.
If you become the head of your own task force, you can run your investigations however the you see fit. But this is my task force, and I'm gonna need you to fall in line. Drug dealers are like cockroaches. Impossible to eradicate. Believe me, I tried. Then I realized there's always gonna be a demand, so there's always gonna be supply. So I got some simple rules. Listen carefully. Civilians should never be hurt in the process. You can kill all the criminals you want, but you spill one drop of innocent blood, and we kill you. When my wife was murdered, I realized that in order to make the streets safe, we had to get just as dirty as those animals.
Wait.
We are doing God's work.
What's the deal, YouTube? What's good with y'all? What's up with everybody? I'll go by the name of DC, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4, and I'm going to talk about Don Carter and his task force, and how I believe Don Carter and his task force will be exposed by the end of Season 4, and how I believe they will either be arrested or taken out. Because with us finding out in the mid-season finale that Don Carter and his task force is dirty cops, I believe Don Carter and his task force will get exposed in the second half of Season 4. So today I'm going to talk about that and give y'all my reasons why I believe Don Carter and his task force will be exposed in the second half of Season 4 and possibly suffering the downfall in the second half of Season 4. If you're coming across my channel for the first time and you like the videos that I upload and create, hit that like button to help this video get recommended across the algorithm. Hit that post bell notification button to get updated on all content I post on my channel, and leave your comments and theories down below in the comment section, and y'all let me know y'all predictions for this second half of Season 4. Now in episode 5, Don Carter revealed his real intentions and the type of cop he is to Monet and Drew after he caught them stealing Noma's re-up. And instead of taking them to jail, he allowed them to walk away with the product. But moving forward, he's going to be extorting the Tejadas for 35% of their profits in exchange to keep them out of jail. And this is Don Carter's way of controlling all the drug dealers in New York City, so no more innocent blood will be spilled in the streets due to the death of his wife dying after she was caught in the middle of a crossfire between rival gangs. Now, throughout these last couple of days, Power has released a bunch of promo teasers, as well as the episode 6 trailer getting us ready for the second half of Season 4. And from watching these promo teasers and trailers, it's looking like most of the stuff that we've seen in these promo teasers and trailers is going to happen in episode 6 and 7. It's looking like Don Carter and his task force is going to be causing a whole lot of issues for the Tejada family in the second half of Season 4, which is most likely going to start taking place in episode 6. But with them creating all these issues for the Tejadas, I do believe Don Carter and his task force will get too carried away with trying to keep the Tejadas under control, and I believe the Tejadas, with the help of Tariq, is going to come up with a plan to get rid of Don Carter and his task force once and for all. Now in the episode 6 description, which is titled Devil's Playground, it reads, Tariq and Brayden must find a way to get back on Noma good graces. Monet fights to keep her family from under Carter's thumb, and Diana is faced with stepping further into the game or risking her family's safety. Now in the episode 6 trailer that was released on the Power Book 2 Ghost Instagram page, as well as the part 2 teaser and trailer, we see Don Carter and his task force at the Tejada's house questioning Monet about the drugs she stole in episode 5 and who did she take them from. And in the episode 6 trailer, we see Don Carter pointing his gun at Diana as a way to pressure Monet to tell him who drugs she stole. And I believe Monet possibly might fold and tell Don Carter that the drugs that they stole belong to the Russians. I definitely believe somebody in the Tejada family is going to tell Don Carter that them drugs that they stole belong to the Russians, which is going to lead to Don Carter and his task force going after the Russians and raiding their restaurant in episode 6 when Effie is at the Russians restaurant having a business meeting with them. Now, as far as Diana, I believe Don Carter could possibly task Diana with handling something else for him and his task force in exchange to get Drew out of jail, because Drew will be going to jail in episode 6. And I believe the reasoning behind Drew going to jail is a way for Don Carter to control the Tejadas to get them to fall in line. So with Diana stepping further into the game or risking her family's safety according to the episode 6 synopsis, I believe this could possibly have something to do with Diana helping Drew get out of jail in episode 6. And with the Tejadas being unpredictable, I believe Carter is going to task Felicia with keeping her eyes on Diana throughout the episode. Because one thing I noticed in this new Don Carter promo teaser that was released, we see Don Carter and his task force going over their plan to raid the Russia's restaurant. And if you notice in this scene right here, Felicia is nowhere to be found, which makes me to believe that she's going to be somewhere else, most likely watching Diana and keeping her eyes on her. Now in the episode 6 trailer, they showed us a scene with Diana getting into a fight with Felicia. And with this incident right here, I believe this is going to start the domino effect that's going to lead up to Don Carter and his task force getting taken out or going to jail in the second half of season 4. Because in another promo teaser that was released, we see a different angle of this fight scene between Diana and Felicia, and we see Felicia kicking Diana. And this is just my theory, but I could be wrong about this, but I believe Felicia could possibly cause Diana to have a miscarriage by kicking her multiple times, which could possibly end episode 6 off with a cliffhanger going into episode 7. Because according to the episode 7 description, which is titled I Can't Fix This, it reads, when tragedy strikes, Tariq and the Tejadas are set on a mission to avenge what they've lost. Drew must take out a threat to protect Carter's organization in order to protect his family. And the only thing that I could think of that both Tariq and the Tejadas have in common with this situation right here is if something happens to Diana or her baby. And like I've been saying throughout these last couple of weeks, I don't see Diana dying in episode 6, but I definitely think something might happen to her baby. I definitely believe this fight that's going to take place with Diana and Felicia in episode 6 could possibly lead to Diana losing her baby. And if Felicia is responsible for this, then I believe Monet or Tariq is going to try to avenge what they lost and try to take Felicia out in episode 7. And before I continue, I do want to touch on this scene right here where we see Tariq crying, looking at somebody in the hospital bed from what it's looking like. And after watching the episode 6 trailer, I came to the conclusion that this is not Diana that's laying in this hospital bed. And the reason why I say that is because if you notice Tariq's outfit, this is the same outfit that we see him wearing throughout the episode 6 trailer. And another thing I noticed is that Tariq was still wearing this same exact outfit when him and Davis was meeting up with Noma and Kane to talk about killing Zion, which is taking place at night, as well as him killing Zion at night, but he's wearing a different outfit. And Diana is going to be getting into an altercation with Felicia at night. So this person right here that Tariq is looking at can't be Diana, because this scene is most likely going to take place before Tariq and Davis meets up with Kane and Noma, as well as taking out Zion. But back to Felicia, like I said earlier in the video, if she is the reason why Diana could possibly lose her baby, I feel like Monet and Tariq is going to try to take her out. But I think Diana might try and seek revenge against Felicia and take her out instead. Because in the part 2 trailer that was released, we see Diana smashing somebody's head in with a metal object, most likely getting her first kill. And in the new Diana promo teaser that was released a few days ago, we see Diana pointing a gun at somebody, and she's wearing the same exact outfit we see her wearing in the previous scene where she's smashing somebody's head in with a metal object. So this person that Diana is taking out could possibly be Felicia. But if this does happen, I believe Tariq and Monet is going to show up, but they're going to show up afterwards and try to help out Diana with cleaning up the body. And I think Don Carter is going to walk in and see all three of them trying to cover up Felicia's murder if this does happen. Which is why we see Don Carter holding Monet, Tariq, and Diana at gunpoint. So I definitely believe Tariq and Monet will try to seek revenge against Felicia, but I think Diana is going to beat them to the punch and she's going to be the one to take out Felicia if that does happen, in my opinion. And with Tariq being there, this is going to pull him into the stuff that the Tejadas got going on with Don Carter when it comes to him and storing the Tejadas for 35% of their profits, which is going to lead to Tariq and Monet trying to figure out a way to get from under Carter's thumb. Because in the episode 8 description, which is titled Hired Calling, it reads, Tariq and Monet tried to leverage a way to get out from under Carter. So I do believe in episode 7, Don Carter will have leverage to hold over Tariq's head going into episode 8, since he's here at this house with Monet and Diana doing something that they ain't got no business doing. But if this is Felicia's house and if she does die, I don't think Don Carter will take out the Tejadas and Tariq for this. If anything, I feel like he will hold this over their heads and continue to extort all of them, and most likely have them doing his dirty work for him. But Carter won't be able to keep what he's doing under the radar for so long, because eventually at some point, somebody is going to find out that him and his task force is dirty. And I believe the first person that will figure that out is Kamal Tate. I definitely believe Kamal Tate will be the first person to figure out that Don Carter and his task force is dirty, but I don't think Kamal is going to be around much longer once he does find out the truth. Because according to the part 2 trailer, Rashad Tate will be popping up in the second half of season 4. And many people, including myself, has been wondering when was Rashad Tate going to pop up, because we kept hearing his name being mentioned in the first half of season 4, and we saw his brother pop up in the first half of season 4, episode 3, and he's been working with Don Carter and his task force ever since. But now, with Rashad Tate popping up in part 2, I believe sooner than later, Kamal will get smoked by Carter or somebody in his task force. Or Drew. We definitely can't rule out Drew from doing this either, because because in episode 7, Carter is going to task Drew with taking out a threat to protect Carter's organization in order for Drew to protect his family, which possibly could be Kamal Tate, who's posing a threat to Carter's organization. Because I definitely believe in part 2, probably in episode 6 or 7, Kamal is going to find out that Don Carter and his task force is dirty. And I'm pretty sure when that does happen, either Don Carter or somebody in his task force or Drew is going to take out Kamal Tate. So we can't rule out Drew because he could be the one that kills Kamal, but either way it goes, I believe the reason behind Rashad Tate popping up in part 2 is going to have something to do with his brother. And with Rashad standing behind what looks to be an autopsy report in this scene right here, I believe Kamal Tate will get smoked and Rashad will be at the morgue to identify his brother's body. And this is going to piss Rashad Tate off. And I'm pretty sure he's going to want answers about his brother's death and who was the person that was responsible for this. And I believe the first person that Rashad Tate will be reaching out to for answers about this will be Tariq. I definitely believe some way, somehow, Tariq and Tate is going to have a conversation with each other in part 2. And Tariq could possibly tell Rashad Tate about Don Carter and what's been going on with Don Carter restoring him and the Tejadas, which could lead to Rashad Tate doing his own investigation on Don Carter and possibly exposing him for being dirty, especially if he has something to do with his brother's death. And they probably come up with a plan to take down Don Carter and his task force. And in my opinion, I think Rashad Tate is going to pop up in episode 8 because episode 8 usually sets up the foundations going into episode 9 and 10, and it wouldn't make sense if Rashad Tate character returned in episode 9 or 10, since this is the final season of Book 2 Ghosts. So I feel like Rashad Tate will pop up in episode 8, and his brother could possibly die in episode 7, who knows? I could be wrong. We possibly could see Kamal and Felicia get smoked in episode 7, who knows? This is just a theory of mine, but I definitely believe Kamal Tate will get smoked though, as well as Felicia. But with all this stuff that's about to take place in part 2, from Diana fighting Felicia, and Felicia possibly causing Diana to lose her baby, to Diana possibly killing Felicia, as well as the possible death of Kamal Tate, all this is going to do is cause problems for Don Carter and his task force, to the point where Carter and his task force gets exposed for all the dirty stuff they've been doing when it comes to them extorting the drug dealers in New York City. It's really about to be a domino effect that's going to lead up to Carter and his task force suffering the downfall, as well as being exposed for being dirty cops. And I believe the domino effect is going to start once Felicia put her hands on Diana. That's going to put the wheels in motion for Carter and his task force downfall in the second half of season 4. Because I don't see Tariq or Monet letting Felicia get away with causing Diana to have a miscarriage. If Diana does have a miscarriage and Felicia is responsible for it, they ain't about to let that slide at all. As far as Kamal Tate, I don't see his murder going unanswered either. I definitely believe Rashad is going to want answers about that. Rashad Tate go trip the hell out if his brother get taken out, which I'm expecting to happen. So with all that being said, I do believe in part 2 of season 4, Don Carter and his task force will be exposed and they will suffer a downfall by the hands of Tariq, Monet, or Rashad Tate, who knows, but one of them is going to play a huge role in Don Carter and his task force being exposed, as well as them suffering the downfall. Rather it's jail or death, I do believe Don Carter and his task force will be neutralized by the end of season 4. And honestly, I think Don Carter gonna get smoked at the end of the day when it's all said and done. I believe him and his task force is going to get wiped out one by one. And Don Carter is going to be the last man standing, but I believe he's going to get smoked by the end of season 4. Y'all know how power is when it comes to these new characters that they be introducing to us. They always bring them in for one season and build them up to be these big bad villains. And the next thing you know, that character gets taken out in the same season. Like, they do this all the time. So I think the same thing might happen with Don Carter character. Who knows? I really don't want to see Don Carter die at the end of the day. I rock with Don Carter character heavy. I feel like he's one of the best police officers in the Power universe. If you feel different about it, let me know down below in the comment box. But I do got that weird feeling that Don Carter will get smoked by the end of season 4. But other than that, I ain't got too much else to say about this video. If you like this video that I uploaded and created, hit that like button to help this video get recommended across the algorithm. Hit that post bell notification button to get updated on all content I post on my channel, and leave your comments and theories down below in the comment section. New videos is on the way. More content is coming soon, so stay on the lookout for that. Thank you to everybody that's been supporting me and rocking with me and supporting the channel. I genuinely appreciate y'all. I'm gonna get at y'all later. Much love to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Y'all be safe, and God bless.